first fight we didn't really have a lot of sparring partners because we only had a little bit of time. So this time we got good quality sparring partners, big guys that move around. Similar like Joshua, you know. So positive, but I know he's dropping a lot of weight. I don't know if it's gonna be good or bad for him, but is he still gonna have the same power? Is he still gonna? I think right now he's just trying to be light enough so he can move around, box me around, but that's the kind of sparring partners that we have, you know, to move around, try to be slick. I'm not busting my ass for nothing. I'm not busting my ass for nothing. I'm not busting my ass for nothing.
So we just heard there from Andy Margin Boo Ruiz, and he has, I'm afraid to say, let slip a key tactical error here in his sparring and in his technique or in his fight tactics. Now, I'll spell it out in case you man haven't already clocked on as to why I've titled this video the way I have. Andy Ruiz accidentally let slip a massive training and tactical error. So he says here at the start of the video, or a number of times, he says, yeah, we've brought people in, we've brought in long people who are going to box around and run around, and I'm not going to bust my ass, and I'm just going to run. AJ's just going to run around and try to be slick and all this goofy stuff. AJ, I've been training. So essentially, Andy Ruiz confesses that his training has been all long boxers and no one that's been really busting Andy Ruiz's ass. You hear him say it there. Ain't no one busting my ass. I've just been in there playing around with people, essentially. I've been in there and they've been running away from me and I've been marching forward and having a great time. You heard it. In fact, I replayed it for you to emphasise it. He said, no one's been busting my ass because I've been the one who's been the hammer. I've been the one coming forward and I've been training with people who have been mimicking AJ on June 1st, aka the man who was like a deer in headlights running away from Ruiz. Now, that there, in my opinion at least, is a huge a huge training and tactical error, because if AJ's team are sharp and they've clocked on to the kind of fighter AJ is or has been throughout his career, AJ's not a boxer. That June 1st is not AJ. AJ is a ferocious inside fighting animal. Yeah? Ask Dillian White about how Dillian White how all that boxing around business was for him. Yeah? Ask Klitschko how all that boxing around was for him. There weren't no boxing around when he was in there with Klitschko. There weren't no boxing around when he was in there with Dillian White. And by the way, many people would put Dillian White and or Klitschko levels above Andy Ruiz. So in reality, look at two of AJ's best opponents, Dillian White and Klitschko. Neither of them were box around performances. In fact, the only real box around performances are probably the Parker fight, but even that was a dominant box around performance. Andy Ruiz potentially here has made a huge blunder in as much as he's banking on the AJ that fought on June 1st turning up again. The one who didn't throw no punches. The one who literally, look at the fight stats. AJ historically throws bang on the heavyweight average, 40 punches a round. In the Ruiz fight, they was throwing like 25 punches. And we've seen AJ in the corner of that fight, completely disorientated, completely concussed. Ruiz is banking on, or has trained for, AJ who was not himself that night, and who turns up just to kind of survive and just completely out of his mind, concussed or cloned or whatever it was. And this also is not only to point out that Ruiz is Ruiz will, if AJ goes in there and does what he's good at, i.e. holding his ground and being the hammer, Ruiz is going to get a big shock because he's admitted himself, we haven't been training for AJ to march forward. We haven't been training to deal with pressure. We've been training to be the guy who's on top. We've been training to be the on-top fighter. We've been training to be the hammer. What's going to happen when AJ meets Ruiz at the centre of the ring? He's going to get a shock of his life because he hasn't trained for that. Yeah? June 1st, AJ let Ruiz off the hook. He didn't break him down and he didn't really put pressure on him at all. Even when he people get gassed about, oh look, YB, AJ proved that he shouldn't go toe to toe with Ruiz. Look how June 1st went. AJ wasn't going toe to toe with Ruiz then. AJ wasn't pressuring Ruiz then. AJ literally caught Ruiz with a combination, then ran in. That's not pressure. Pressure is where you step in with a jab, or you're constantly poking him with a jab. Then you step in. After, you know what I mean? You break someone down, you're pressuring them with aggression and foot positioning. Yeah? On June 1st, what you'll notice is AJ wasn't pressuring, because any time he did step in with a jab, he'd step in quickly with a jab and then step out again. It was like a flash jab. Yeah? Whereas normally, AJ versus Parker, for example, AJ would jab and let his feet follow behind. And that does two important things. Number one, it cuts the ring down, because when you step and jab, you get closer to your opponent. When you do that other stuff that AJ was doing, like as an example, Floyd Mayweather does this a lot, where he'll step in with a quick jab and then step out again. That there doesn't pressure no one. That there is just a single jab. Yeah, you can parry it or defend it, and then your opponent's gone away from you again. That doesn't put you under pressure. Whereas look at Joseph Parker. AJ versus Parker. Parker spent the whole night having to pivot, having to head movement, having to use his feet, having to spring over the place, because AJ was constantly jabbing and cutting the ring off. And even that, to be honest, but if you look at AJ's stats, that there was a solid, AJ was bang on his average, 40 punches around. And that jab, in my opinion, it could have been pumping more against Parker. But still, the fact of the matter is, Parker got shut out with the jab. Couldn't do nothing about it. All he could do is run. Yeah? And you got to remember, that Parker fight, AJ was already on his champion's curse decline. He'd already got into that mindset of, or he was slowly developing into that mindset, of, let me just kind of defend the belts. This is a new AJ, yeah? A ferocious, an instinctual AJ. Meaning that if he can do that when he wasn't even half mentally there against Parker, what do you think? Do you think it's going to be more like the June 1st performance, or more like the early performances? I think it's going to be more like the early performances, from what I've heard. I've done several videos talking about it. Look at Thomas Motton, AJ's sparring partner, talks about AJ's mindset. This ain't no kind of flicking a jab out and stepping back. Ruiz is prepared to be chasing AJ around the ring, and AJ to be running out the back door, not throwing nothing. This is going to be a different one. Ruiz is going to be the one who's going to be looking for the back door. Ruiz is going to be the one looking for space, looking for breathing space. Because for one thing, people talk about Ruiz's conditioning, but we haven't seen him really pressured. We haven't seen someone stick it on him. We haven't seen him really peppered up with a jab. We haven't seen someone on top of him and weighing all over him. Just imagine for a second now that AJ's actually, he's developed his skills, he's developed his inside fighting, in as much as, let's assume he's now leveraging that height, and he's weighing over people, weighing all over them, and whipping shots into the body on the inside. What's Ruiz going to do then? I can't wait to see what he's going to do. That's for sure. Especially when he's sitting there all cocky, talking about, I'm not going to bust my ass. I've just been sparring with easy people. I've just been sparring, chasing everyone around the ring. That's what he's planning on doing. He thinks he's going to be red panty night. He thinks he's turning up to a red panty night, where he chases around, where the hare gets chased by the fox. That's what he's expecting. And that's going to get trust me, his heart rate's going to go from 0 to 100 when he sees a 6'6" inside fighting demon at this planted, with them thick ass legs planted at the centre of the ring. Yeah? Ruiz ain't going to be one of them ones, I'm telling you now. And the last reason I'll say, or the last thing I brought this up, is to say that if AJ's camp, obviously the YB, despite his many sources, he is not within AJ's camp. So as I was saying, the reason I've brought this up is to say that I hope that if AJ's team hear these, well, they must have, I assume they would have heard some of the things Ruiz has said over these last few weeks, and one of the consistent themes has been, AJ's going to try and box me around. AJ's going to be trying to box. AJ trying to be slick. AJ's trying to box. So everything he said is, I'm expecting AJ to do what he did on June 1st again, and to be the one trying to be an outboxer. God knows why anyone would expect that for, given that that's not the fighter he is. I don't understand it. That said, there is quite a few fans who believe the same thing. Oh yeah, if AJ's going to win, he's going to have to learn to move like Tyson Fury, and he's going to have to completely change his style over the last 10 years and he's going to become a new fighter who's going to be light on his toes and going to be Ali 2.0 and he's going to be doing this, going to be slipping and sliding, all this goofy business. God knows why people think that. I don't even think it's possible to learn that. Never mind the physical and technical reasons he shouldn't do that, i.e. his power, i.e. his speed, etc., etc., i.e. his combination punching ability. When you've got all these attributes, you don't need to be fanning around, running backwards, and trying to flick a jab. Show me a time you've seen Tyson Fury hurt someone with a jab. Show me it. I've seen AJ put people down with jabs before. Stiff jabs, put them down. Show me a time Fury's ever put someone down. Never mind a jab. Show me Fury putting someone down with one shot before. I've never seen him do it with one shot. Meaning that we're talking about two separate entities here. This ain't no box around. Andy Ruiz is talking as if he's fighting Tyson Fury. And as I was saying earlier, the reason I've brought that up is to say that I hope AJ's team have heard this and they're prepared for this. Meaning that I hope they're not planning on going in there and trying to box him around. I've got another video coming soon from Rob McCracken. And I'm sorry, but you know I've been highly critical of him, but I'm going to have to go in on him again. He's talking about, oh yeah, well I'm not bothered how we get the win, let's just try and get the win. That's the wrong mindset, McCracken. It's not a case of too much in boxing or in life in general. You get these individuals who think that oh well, if I find a different, or if I don't, by not giving it my, no, I'm trying to think of the way of putting it. You get these individuals who think that by doing things moderately, or by taking a moderate game plan, it makes success more likely. Yeah? As an example, well, if I don't bet the whole house on something, it makes the outcome more likely. It doesn't make a scrap of difference. Yeah? The fact that let's just try and get the win. That kind of mindset, that moderate mindset, oh yeah, I'm not bothered how we get the win. If the KO comes, it comes. I'm not going to chase the KO. Yeah, of course you don't want to chase the KO, but the mentality, in my opinion, AJ's camp and AJ's team, 6 months ago after June 1st, should have sat down and said, listen AJ, never mind just trying to get the win. Assuming we're signing the rematch, which they did, I would have sat AJ down and said to him, listen, we're coming up with a game plan. We're going to train to knock this man, to break him down and beat him and embarrass him. In fact, my whole mantra for this camp would have been, 5 months ago, I would have sat AJ down and I said, listen, don't worry about nothing else. Don't worry about winning. We're going to find a way, because we've just been done embarrassingly. We're going to sit down now and we're going to plan and we're going to shake on it. We're going to make this man quit in the corner in the 10th round or whatever it is. See what I mean? That's the mentality I would have been going into this with. Now, of course, if you plan and you train and you mentally, every night, McCracken should have been sitting there talking to AJ about these things. Yeah? I'm not a trainer myself, but that's what I think should be happening. Like Customato used to do. Getting AJ in the mindset of ready to take Andy Ruiz's soul clean out of his body and make him sit in the corner with the mouthpiece, with the oxygen on his face, like Dave Allen versus David Price. That's what should have been happening. Not, oh well, yeah, let's not worry about the KO, let's not worry about the stoppage, let's just try and get the win. What sort of moderate mentality is that? As if, oh well, if we don't commit to the KO, that's going to make the win outcome more likely. Not committing to the KO makes it less likely, in my opinion. Oh yeah, well, we don't really want to worry about getting the KO. We just want to kind of get through and nick the win if we can. What? What planet are you on? We're talking about a ferocious game here, not a game of chess. Oh yeah, we're playing chess, so if we can just get through... What? You should be going in there with devilish intentions and with the absolute confidence, and not only the confidence, you should go in there with the confidence and pure of purpose. This man's getting stopped, if not knocked spark out. Now, if you go in with that mentality and they end up not getting knocked out, then it is what it is. But that purpose should be there. Absolutely. I don't know, man. Anyway, it all links in because Ruiz is planning on chasing AJ around the ring. If AJ goes in there with that mindset of, oh, I'm going to run around and try and be something I'm not, in my opinion, it's not going to end well. I don't see AJ trying to be an outboxer. He's never done that in his whole career. He needs to go in there and do what he was made to do. That said, whilst McCracken hasn't come across very convincing, in my opinion, AJ himself has been saying the right things. So I've never supported McCracken. I just don't think he gets the most out of AJ. And hearing the stuff I've heard about, oh yeah, let's not worry about that. Let's just try and get the win, and let's try and get through by the skin of our teeth. What's going on here? Are you a trainer? Are you a motivator? Or are you? He sounds like a risk averse kind of. Because the thing is about this Andy Ruiz fight, the chances are, if AJ loses this fight, you're gonna lose by stoppage anyway. That makes sense, meaning that what's the point going in there and trying to be Mr. Nip and Tuck, and you get stopped anyway. You run out of gas anyway. You might as well go in there and plan me or you. It's me or him tonight. And if you go in the ring with that kind of solace, you know, then you ain't. At least you can't come a cropper. Now it seems like they're going in the ring. Oh, you know what? We're gonna go in there and try and nip and tuck, and maybe we can come off with a win, and maybe we don't. Maybe we can get a draw. Maybe we can get the points. We're just going in there for a points win. What? He didn't give you that. He didn't give you that mercy. Ruiz didn't go in there and give you the mercy of a points win. You should be going in there to take his soul clean out of his head. Anyway, let's see how it plays out. Ruiz gets done. If AJ comes in there and he puts it on this man as he's not expecting. Ruiz has flat out told you now he's not expecting for someone to stick it on him. That's what needs to be done. It's perfect. Tonight's December 7th is perfect for someone to stick it on Ruiz, and he will fold. He's not expecting it. He's been buying cars, been buying jewellery, all in the videos like P. Diddy. Yeah, one of them ones there, trying to be Mr. Hollywood. And it's going to come to pass if they do it right. If they do what he's meant to do.